giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on YouTube with my brother Voch Lombardi in the building. I'm your host, Skywalker Steele. Yo, you be throwing me off in the back, bro.
I be ready, dog. That shit come on. Hey, look. Yo, look, when I be listening in the morning, this joint come on, I be like,
hey, man, I wish y'all could see this fool in the back, dog. Like, every time, man, every single time, this guy throws me off my intro. But shouts out to the bomb squad in the building. I got my bro back. We about to talk this joint practice. What's good with you, Voch?
I never just do one boom. I boom.
Nah, he back there. Crazy, man.
It's close by too. it's close. It's look.
The new one.
It's the new one. It's
Okay.
no longer loud. It's like a boom. It's literally a boom now. You know what I'm saying? So hey, dog. Appreciate you.
Yeah. It's not a pume no more. That's what you got.
Hey man, appreciate you for having me. Camp is lit. We got plenty to talk about, plenty to do. Rams probably in town already, you know what I'm saying? And we have a lot to preview, sir.
We do. Real quick though, let me give a shout out to the bomb squad, man.
Bomb squad.
See, we have like a routine to open the show, just like you, the whole bomb squad. They get into it too. And I got thrown off a bit, but that's a good thing. That means Voch is here. We're gonna have a good time, and we got a lot to talk about. You right, bro. Camp is a lot more lit than I think people thought coming in. Maybe because the morale was down, right? Like they ain't do nothing in the offseason. But I say this all the time. Once they get to camp, dog, I don't care, you know, because we got real football to get at, and there's a lot of players out there that's trying to make some waves for themselves at camp, and we're gonna talk about it, Voch. I got some questions for you. Here's how I want to set this up, though. So we got the Rams Cowboys joint practice, right? And you know one thing for sure, two things for certain.
Yeah, they squabbling out there now.
You know, that's happening. I don't care what Mike McCarthy talking about. McCarthy said he don't want no fights, but it's gonna happen. But what I want to do is go through each unit and just talk about some things we're looking for. What are you watching for each position unit? We don't have to go long on each one, but there is something to look for, to watch for every single last unit during these joint practices. Prior to that, did you see the Cowboys sign 3 new players?
Yeah, I did. And I scratched my head about it for 28 seconds, and then I was like, all right, cool, bet. I kind of like their approach. I don't know if you wanted to set it up first with your graphics and the names.
I ain't got no graphics, nothing, but I mean, yeah, we got the names.
Sure.
You know, they signed 2 linebackers.
Yeah.
It's the kid. He's just saying kids.
Yeah.
Vigil, Nick Vigil and Darius Harris, 2 linebackers. Harris was the Super Bowl champion in Kansas City. Mostly special teams guy. Did play like 200 some snaps in 2022. And Nick Vigil, though, he's more interesting because, you know, he was there in Minnesota for a season when Zim was there. He was drafted to Cincinnati when Paul Gunther was a defensive coordinator. He played 2 years there. He feels like he could stick a little bit more and maybe take over the Damian Wilson role, that veteran special teams guy that knows the system. But I thought those 2 were interesting. I didn't know if you had any thoughts on bringing those guys in, because we got 5 linebackers already, 6 linebackers, whatever it is, already on the team. So they added 2 more linebackers.
So when I first saw it, Scott, I was like, damn, that's interesting, because if there's a unit that I felt like had the most turnover and they can win comeback unit of the year award, it'll be your linebackers though, right? But then man, come on, Scott, you know us, man. We got to get to the bottom of this. You know, we have to deep think and not just come out here and just say anything. People watch us, people trust us, right? So the the couple of theories that I came up with is we're gonna play 3 linebacker sets way more than you think, and you need backups, and you need backups for those guys. You have to be prepared. I mean, yeah, Micah's one of your 6 linebackers now, but you have to be ready for a world to where, all right, if Overshown gets whatever and anything else, blah, 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 and Micah got to do some linebackers. I mean, he has to do some edge stuff, right? You may need an extra linebacker there. But this is my deepest thought, Skywalker Steel. Everybody write this down. This might be on the test. I was watching the Hall of Fame game, sir, and we finally got a chance to see the kickoff rule and all that little stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a lot of people when they talk about the kickoff rule, it's like a run play, right? Like it's going to happen so fast. Your blockers are there, your kickoff guys are there, and as soon as somebody catch the ball, it's like a run play, and you got to shed blocks and go do your thing. So I think the days where you got wide receivers running down tackling people, or running backs running down tackling people, I think it may be to an advantage of us to get dudes that are used to shedding blocks to then go tackle people. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you got to run 70 yards and then go tackle somebody.
Right.
You got to shed a block, run 15 yards, and then go and block somebody, right? So these days where like Malik Davis chasing people down, Jalen Brooks chasing people down, all right, now let's get a dude that plays linebacker that's used to running 15 yards and tackling somebody. So in my mind, and look, this may be nonsense. It may be
I think you're on something.
It may be BS, but in my mind, my deepest thought, that's what I think it might be.
That's a great thought, because it's so funny, because the opposite is what I heard from the receiving end of it. People were saying, hey, maybe you should throw out linemen. They used to do that. You know, they'll do the wedge or whatnot, tight ends, fullbacks, maybe an athletic type lineman. But maybe you legitimately throw out your backup lineman, because like you said, there's no running and meeting each other for 70 yards. It's blocking and shedding blocks. So if you have legitimate linebackers on one side and you got Jalen Brooks trying to block one of them every time, or Malik Davis, yeah, that linebacker is going to shed that. That linebacker, that safety is going to probably handle that more often than not. So I like the thought process. My thought was maybe they need more bodies for camp and for preseason, because they like what they see. Kendrick's not going to play a lot. Are they really going to put Demo out there too much with the ACL? Leah Fowle's going to play a ton. Clark is your starter. So those Kendricks, Clark are probably not going to play a lot of reps, right, in preseason. So then that means you got Leah Fowle, you got maybe Damian Wilson, who's out there, Buddy Johnson, those guys, and Demo. But eventually you're going to start peeling these guys back. If Maris, Leah Fowle are really going to be a part of this defense, you're not going to put them out there for all 3 preseason games. Sure. So now you're down to Damian Wilson, Buddy Johnson, and what, 1 or 2 other guys. So this is a great shot to see, okay, can you push Damian Wilson off this roster, Nick Vigil? Darius Harris, can you be that special teams guy you were talking about, Voch? And you roll with 5 or 6 linebackers as opposed to last year, it felt like 2. Yeah. And great point, though, on more 3 linebacker sets. I still think teams will dictate that, right, with 11 personnel. But I think we'll see more 3 linebacker sets than we're used to seeing in Dallas, because we're a personnel match where Dan Quinn wasn't doing that. Dan Quinn had come out in 13. Oh, no problem. We'll bring in J-Ron Curse to play middle linebacker, and we'll go big nickel. That's not happening. You come out in 12 or 13, you might mess around and see Demo, Maris, and Kendricks out there. Maybe Kendricks, Clark, Micah. Like, you're legitimately going to see 3 backers matching personnel. So I do love that thought.
You know, you got 6 guys that you really trust. And Sky, when was the last time we had 6 guys that we really trust? You know, Parsons, Kendricks, Louis Overshown. I'm trusting Clark as long as he's on the field with the right person. Like, if he out there with
he looking good, man. Oh, Willie Harvey
or something. You know what I mean? Like, but look, but Willie, I think Scott Voch says this: how many linebackers do you? And this is fast and just all the time, whatever. How many linebackers do you carry this year, right? Considering teams, considering playing more linebackers, and you know, Micah's a hybrid guy. How many of these dudes do you carry? Because Willie Harvey just keep making plays. Overshown keep making plays. Maris Louis thumping Tyler Smith. Give him a Hall of Fame jersey right now. Give him a star right now. He thumping Tyler Smith. Lyman thump Tyler Smith in practice. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Kendricks is your green dot guy, and Damone Clark ain't going away. You know what I'm saying? Because he's the athlete. You just got to tell him where to go. You know what I mean? So I think you got linebackers that You got 6 dudes that can go.
Six.
Every time Micah's at linebacker, I don't know if I said this on your show. I might have said
6
somewhere
and possible.
6 and a possible, right? I don't know if I said this here, but Micah at linebacker, even on passing plays, I like that because, you want him to pass rush, when the quarterback's holding the ball. But when Micah's there, they get rid of the ball quick. So we've seen Dak, Cooper Rush, Trey Lance. We've seen them throw these little slants or these little bubbles. Micah's just going to turn and run and hit them people. You know what I'm saying? Like these quick plays where he's not going to get a sack or a hit anyway. Yeah, just go run and go tackle somebody. And it looks great. Every time I see it, Mike's the fastest, most burstiest dude on your team.
Yep.
So there's a crap ton of dudes on this team that can run and hit people. So it's strange why you would bring in more of them. I would expect more urgency from running back. And we signed he'll be a 3-techie kind of dude.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a second.
Yeah, but where's the urgency for the 330-pound people on your team? You know what I'm saying? It was kind of shocking, but maybe one tech will come down. Maybe after this practice, we'll figure out if we need a 1 tech or not. We'll still.
Let's get right into it because those two weren't the only 2 guys they signed. They signed a defensive tackle, Albert. I want to say Hainsworth so bad every time I say it. Albert Huggins.
They don't make a lot of Alberts no more. That's why you say that.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like Albert Hainsworth was the last Albert at defensive tackle I know about.
Is it?
But we got Albert Huggins brought in here, and it's how low the bar is, bro, for defensive tackle. We finally signed a defensive tackle. This is one of the most blinking red lights since the season ended, and the Cowboys quite literally did not sign a defensive tackle in free agency until August 8th. Yeah. And with all due respect, Mr. Huggins.
Yeah.
Carl
Davis.
What am I really expecting here, right? Think about this for a second. Yes, we need the 6'3", 305, more of a 3-tech, but he's your biggest 3-tech. This sounds crazy, but he's literally comes in as your biggest, most experienced 3-tech on the roster. That's wild to me.
Because Osa 280.
Osa 280.
Chauncey play in for real.
Chauncey's an end. And Viliami, I don't even consider that man a defensive tackle.
He don't exist, yeah.
So he comes in and immediately becomes your biggest 3-tech. Now you can say, well, what about the Denzel Daxon? Daxon is a 1-tech in a 3-tech's body. That's what he is. But again, this is why I have low expectations. This will be, and this is not a typo. This will be his 10th team.
Damn.
In 5 years, Voch.
Huh?
10.
Wait a minute. Wait, 10 years over a long story journeyman career. All right, cool. You say 5 years?
10th team. Listen, twice in Philly, twice in Detroit, Houston, New England, New Orleans, Atlanta, Minnesota, and Dallas.
Boy, Tommy ain't got no job, dude. he a journeyman, boy. He's a nomad. Damn. Okay.
So yeah, 10 teams in 5 years. That doesn't breed any confidence from me. But on the other side of this, the Cowboys' defensive line tackle room is so thin. It feels like anybody they bring in will have a shot.
Will be an upgrade.
And I don't know if it'll be an upgrade. We'll see, but he'll have a shot.
Sure.
Because he's gonna be playing against the Carl Davises of the world, who's putting together some better practices and some of these undrafted rookies. And he's not a rookie. He's a 5-year veteran. Who played in Atlanta last year, started like 5 games. So that was his best season in regards to playing. But I mean, how much confidence can you have in a guy who literally has been in 10 teams in 5 years? Not a lot for me.
That motherfucker know all the systems, though. He know all the schemes. That's why he got brought here, because he know the system, because he know how to.
Yeah, technically, he does. He was with Zim in 2020.
Hey man, what you think the Eagles gonna do on 3rd and 10? Like he know all this stuff. But hey man, shouts out to him. He like you said, he has an opportunity, and this is a result of the Cowboys sitting on their hands a little bit. And I just think we're gonna learn so much today, Sky. Pardon my knife. I just think we're gonna learn so much today, Sky.
Yeah, I want to get into that now. Yeah.
Okay, please go ahead. I'll save my thoughts.
Go ahead and give your opening monologue on the joint practice, because I know we joked around about fights.
Yes,
but
sir.
These are huge, in my opinion, for the veterans.
Can I use my war call, please?
You can use all the buttons you want to press on it, bro.
Did you hear what I said?
The issue I'm having so far is I don't like when I see Brock Hoffman go against Carl Davis. I don't know who good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how much progress Mozzie is making. Now, last 2 years, Mike McCarthy was like, hey, man, we don't need to do joint practices. There's no better team to practice against than our own team. I thought he was spitting when he said that. I don't know who's good now. So when we see, hey, Brock Hoffman's putting together some good days, well, he's blocking Mozzie and Carl Davis. I don't know what that means. When we see Carl Davis have a couple good days, he's going against Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass, and him. I don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is an opportunity for us to go against other people to see who's really good in that, to further gauge how much urgency we should have at whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, like Tyler Smith is a stud. I ain't got to see him today. I ain't got to see Zach Martin for real. I know what the business is with him. I mean, Micah gonna whoop somebody for the highlights, for the tweets. I don't need to see Micah for real. I need to see what Brock Hoffman looked like versus somebody else. What Mozzie looked like versus somebody else. Tyler Guyton looked.
There we go.
Now look, Tyler Guyton versus 11 is a hell of a first day, but they won't let him go against 11 no more. They want to put Chum out there. He been sick, so I want to see Tyler Guyton versus them folk. All of your rookies have something to earn here. All your defensive players got something to earn here. We can finally thump other people. Go thump other people so I can see what your thump is really like. Pause if necessary. You know what I mean? Like, going against us, we know who's good. But those on the fence, borderline, who's good, who's bad people, it's time to figure out what those guys really are. And if you can shine today and you can carry that over into preseason games, right? Yep. I can feel more confident in you in the regular season when I see you shine versus somebody else. Whooping Brock Hoffman and whooping Carl Davis don't mean nothing to me right now because I don't know who they really are.
Facts. And that's kind of where I wanted to start with when you're looking at what to watch for each unit was offensive line. So it was perfect that you brought it in that way. And you touched on Hoffman. Absolutely want to see him against other teams, other schemes, guys that aren't trying to take it easy from time to time because that's my guy. But another dude, you talk about Guyton, Cooper Beebe, right? Like, this is big. You talk about rookies. I think this is big for Cooper Beebe to try to gain some momentum because right now it's Hoffman's job for the simple fact that he can snap the damn ball, right? Like that seems to be something that Cooper Beebe is trying to get over is snapping, not just snapping shotgun snaps, but then snap. And you're a center, so you can explain this in great detail. Snapping it offhand, getting it up, snapping it, your snap hand, getting it up quick, and being where you need to be, the snap, the step. Like, these are just little things that I personally didn't think in 2 weeks he'd have down pat. But by the end of camp, you hope you've seen enough to where, you can get that mauler up in there. But right now, Voch, it looks like this is Brock's job. And it's going to take a lot for Cooper Beebe to overtake it. And that's why this scrimmage, to me, for offensive line purposes, Brock as a starter is probably the number one guy. But then the reserves, for me, I'm looking to see what Cooper Beebe can do.
Braden Fisk, Bobby Brown III, Kobe Turner, who's a stud. Jared Verse. Jared Verse, Byron Young, Michael who whooped a lot of ass last year, actually.
That dude dropped back so much last year for a 280-pound guy. It was crazy.
It's crazy. And a bunch of characters probably get their ass whooped. So, like, that's what your D-line situation, your pass rush linebacker situation is going to look like today. There are some names on there, of course, that we recognize, and I don't know who the hell Corey Durden is, but for the most part, you actually get to see your people versus recognizable names, guy. So whether it be young guy versus young guy, whether it be veteran versus whoever, they got some pass rush dudes, they got some run stoppy dudes. So I think what's important today for guys like BB, right? If I could just tell BB anything, I'd be like, hey man, look, I know you got to worry about the snap, but don't kill yourself over the snap because it's still practice. I want to see BB line up and whoop people today. You know what I'm saying? I want to see BB line up and be physical because if I'm the coach, I could be like, damn, BB can't snap. He beat the shit out of Kobe Turner, didn't he? You know what I'm saying?
That's the Andre Garrard syndrome.
For sure. Like, if I have that, at least I can lean on, okay, well, BB can't shotgun snap. Well, let's go in the center a little bit, at least until we figure something out. And if you're Brock Hoffman, man, I just really want to see wins with you because, Scott, I always say this, man, continuity's cool. Knowing the scheme is cool.
Better people.
Communication is fantastic, but at the end of the day, dog, I like better dudes, man. If you snap the ball perfect and lined up everybody good and identified the mic, but you still got smoked at the end of the day, man, that don't help me, man. That don't help me. So now we get to be like, all right, BB whooped everybody. Let's see if we can fast track his snaps or whatever. You can't fast track Brock Hoffman's physicality. You know what I mean? So after the day, we'll at least have an idea of what's going on with those guys in particular. Plus, Scott, let me just keep this a buck also, because this is, sometimes in these camp environments, Scott, some dudes get better, some dudes get worse. I ain't really seeing it from Bass this year. You know what I'm saying? TJ Bass was a guy last year, and sometimes you have to watch how you evaluate guys. If you evaluate somebody as an undrafted rookie, hell yeah, you look fantastic, but you're not an undrafted rookie no more. You a dude that's on this roster, sophomore, second year campaign, and we're looking to see if you can compete and keep you a spot. Hey, TJ Bass, you've been getting whooped for the most part. Mozzie may lose to Tyler Smith, but Mozzie beat you every time, TJ Bass. What that mean? So when TJ Bass line up against these other people, I need to see what you look like, sir. Keeping the buck with you.
I mean, if we're talking, a little bit deeper down the roster, if TJ Bass isn't taking that next step, I'm looking at Nate Thomas. I've got Nate Thomas for 2025 for me. He's there. I'm looking at my peripherals. Now, it was originally to slide in for Zach, if he retired and Cooper Beebe gets center. But the backup plan always with Beebe was if he doesn't lock down center, he can easily slide in there at guard, and that's your guy. But hey, man, I personally think from a talent standpoint, Nate Thomas brings a little bit more skill, talent to the table than the TJ Bass, even coming out of Oregon. I know they both were one undrafted, one late round pick, but Nate Thomas, dancing bear, he can move for a tackle. Now he's sliding inside for 335. He got power too, and he wants to maul you. So, hey, that could be a nice competition to watch moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Teach his ass how to snap. I'd be excited about that with Skywalker
Nate?
still. yeah, teach him how to just to do it, just to see what that look like.
It would look like Garrard, bro. I don't know if you remember, Parcells moved him from guard to center. I think it was Parcells or the next coach, but guard to center, he was a Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm. And shoot, man. I mean, but hey, that's your guards though, and of course we would like to see Terrence Steele. We would like to see Tyler Guyton. We would love to see what those guys are look, especially Guyton, and they got some pass rush dudes over there that'll, they got Braden Fisk, who's they got him playing end, Scott. So, like 4-eye type end or whatever, right? So I mean, he's a dude that could line up, head up on Tyler Guyton. He's a strong upfield bursty guy, right? They got Byron Young, who's a bona fide pass rush. He was a rookie last year. And our guy Jared Verse, who was almost a goddamn Cowboy, fell so far in the draft, but he's another dude, high profile type pass rusher dude. So we get some rookie on rookie work. That'll be fun to see.
I just happened to look over it. I just got to laugh because Slim is like this. He said Austin Richards and Tyler Guyton are neck and neck.
Well, that's false. Well, hold on.
It's false.
Yeah,
No.
One of them had a great day versus 11. One of them hadn't blocked 11 yet. So I mean, it's all good.
Yeah, I don't know about that one there, buddy. But
one's a first round pick, one's a fifth rounder.
I mean, you should be comparing Awesome to Chuma. That's what you want Awesome Richards to be that. And I've been saying that this whole offseason, right? I'm like, hey man, I hope they don't play around with Awesome Richards. Put his ass at tackle, let him develop at tackle. And what you want is for him to beat out Chuma Edoga. I know I'm not a fan of Chuma. I'd rather invest in my young bucks. And every time Chuma gets out there, I feel like he just keeps getting whooped. Yeah. And there's times though, like there's somebody posted a snap where he was beating DeMarcus Lawrence or whatever, but I'm not believing in no Chuma's left tackle 4. 3 on a good day, or not left tackle back. He's tackle 4. I'm sorry,
tackle 4.
He's tackle 4, tackle 3 on a good day. That's how I look at him on a team that has serviceable tackles.
Straight up. Yeah, he just don't know the plays, man.
We on opposite ends of this, dog. Like every time I want to believe that, and I go watch, and I'm like, he pulled and didn't move, not a soul. He can't reach, get to the second level.
He's back.
What he can do is if you try to run through him, he's short and stocky. He's 6'3", 305, and he ain't like 6'6", 305. So it's tough to run through him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Other than that, I'm good. Put Austin Richards in there, bro.
I agree. I would love for Austin Richards to step up and take that spot, because now you got a flex left side player guy, and that'll be good for guard and tackle stuff. But if Austin can't beat Choma, what that mean? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we'll see.
Facts. sticking to the offensive side of the ball, and this is where you really probably see a lot of testiness and feistiness at the wide receiver position. You know, you get into these joint practices. We just saw Malik Neighbors and Carl Joseph in Detroit. Kirby Joseph, yeah. Which, by the way, Malik, what was that? He pulled a Carmelo Anthony. I mean, hit him and ran and made. Yeah. Come on, dog. So
Neighbors look good though, man. Neighbors looking good.
We knew Neighbors. We knew. It's just somebody on Twitter keeps tagging us and all this neighbor stuff. Like, dog, you understand? We went through peak Odell Beckham. Yeah. You think I'm finna be scared of Neighbors with Daniel Jones? I'm sorry. No, we went through peak Odell, and we still whooped on the Giants for years. So shouts out to the young man, but stop tagging me in your Giant stuff with Malik Neighbors. Okay, he got to deal with Bland and them boys.
We have definitely seen this movie before. It's okay. Yeah. Daniel Jones plays quarterback. Even if Neighbors even if he get 150 yards on the Cowboys every time, that's not enough.
He get 150 because they down 31 to 6.
Yeah, that's not gonna be the team better. Go ahead, those guys. Wide receivers. I'm sorry.
Anyway, wide receivers, man. I had talked about this battle the other day, and it feels like it's Jalen Tolbert right now, wide receiver 3. We're talking about, right? Yeah. And then everybody else is competing. So when I look at what I'm watching for, obviously I'm looking for Tolbert to keep the foot on the gas, right? I want to see Tolbert continue that. But then, you talk about at the beginning of camp, Tyron Billy Johnson was the reserve guy making all the waves, right? And now it's Jalen Moreno Cropper who is stacking all these days. And I think those two guys are probably looking at each other sideways like, all right, dog, I know we probably fighting for this last spot on the roster. And Cropper, no matter where he's at, he continues to make plays. So, honestly, I feel like Tolbert's secure. Maybe make a couple catches, cool. But my eyes are on the rest of those guys. Brooks, Cropper, Tyron. There's a big opportunity for Flournoy. He really needs to get some momentum. That's kind of where I'm looking at with this wide receiver group. What say you, Voch?
Sky, Bones Fossil say that we're going to be doing a whole bunch of fun, cool, two-return man stuff. I say, all right, man, I feel you. Like, at the same time, like two-return men out there at the same time.
Right. The new kickoff rule.
So, Turpin's going to be the main guy for sure, but, like, your second return man is Deuce or Jalen Cropper. Like, Jordan Lewis ain't a return man no more. We're long past those days, right? So, it's Jalen Cropper or Deuce Vaughn. So I think not only is Jalen kind of competing with his other wide receivers, in which he's making wide receiver plays, he's competing with Deuce Vaughn for the return man stuff. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, the dudes that are gonna make the team are the dudes that can do a whole bunch of shit for you. You know what I mean? And earlier, I just kind of mentioned this idea that wide receivers probably not gonna run down 70 yards and tackle people anymore. So I'm at this point, Sky, to where Jalen Tolbert's clearly wide receiver 3 now. Like, he hasn't had any slowdowns or any bad days. I would love to see him do it on the field too. You know what I'm saying? To carry that over, because he had a good camp last year too. Carry all that over to the field and we'll see. But Jalen Brooks ain't having bad days neither. You know what I'm saying? It's just that Tolbert's just bona fide right now. So I think Brooks is safe. I think Turpin is safe because they say every year, hey, we got to get X player involved, right? Sure, let's just say that's Turpin this year. It seems like they have a plan to get Turpin involved. Now you have the draft pick security of Flournoy, the utility of Cropper, and you got like the veteran thing in Tyron Billy Johnson. And he's making plays also, but he's a veteran guy. Racy McMahon probably not going to be here. I imagine David Durden, they're probably going to do some type of
practice squad,
some type of gymnastics to keep him around, whether it be, hey, you're hurt, guy, sit out, or just practice squad, whatever it is. So that's the dynamic that we're kind of dealing with. The hard part about wide receiver, though, Scott, and this is hilarious because it happens every single year. All these dudes look good when Forrest throwing the football, right? But when we get to a preseason game, Cooper Rush can't hit nobody, and Trey Lance is having his days or whatever, but. It's going to come down to who's the better receiver, I think. Like, who shows up and plays receiver better. And I think Cropper and Flournoy give you something different than everybody else. Because Flournoy does bona fide X receiver things, and Cropper does bona fide slot receiver things.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of depends on how those dudes fit in and how they produce at that spot. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Tolbert is a move around guy. He plays everything. Jalen Brooks probably going to do a lot more X stuff, but I think draft pick security means something. I think playing teams means something. So I don't know how heavy they go at wide receiver, but think about this though, Scott. Voch says this, how long are we going to act like we're going to run the football this year? You know what I'm saying?
We tried that last year, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We run the ball 4 weeks and go, all right, Dak, please take over. And if this is going to be a thing where Dak takes over, would you want more receivers to kind of have a little bit of depth there? You know what I'm saying? Just in case if you're going to throw the ball 40 times a game. So I would love for us to carry 7 receivers, but it ain't realistic. You know what I'm saying? So,
I don't know last time they done that. 6 is pretty deep, what they usually do. Do you think they tap somebody on the shoulder and say, put you on IR?
I would love it if it was Flournoy.
That's what it feels like to now. Now he's back now, right? Like Flournoy's back. He's at practice. He missed a couple days or whatever. But he's got some catching up to do. Because Jalen Moreno-Cropper is ahead of him right now in regards to momentum. And, you said he brings something, Flournoy and Cropper bring something most of the other guys don't. Another thing that Cropper has going for him is that Dallas doesn't really have a slot guy.
A bona fide slot dude. Right.
And Lamb is your slot guy, but Lamb's going to be everywhere. But what if, there's no Randall Cobb here. There's no Cole Beasley here. I know Seth Wilson moved around, but he played a lot in the slot. Yep. And I know that Mike likes to have all these guys do a bunch of different things, but there's nothing wrong with a guy like Randall Cobb who can just dominate in the slot and be a viable guy. Not saying that Cropper's that guy, but what if, God forbid, something happened to one of your receivers? Mm-hmm. Who is that guy? I love Turpin's, gadget ability and weapon X ability, but I don't think he's going to be your down in, down out slot guy. He'll be a guy. In fact, I don't even know if I would want to work him underneath that much unless it's a screen or get the ball in his hands right now. I want to work Turpin downfield. That speed is real. We've seen him kind of struggle 15 yards and then when corners or safeties or linebackers get their hands on him because he's small. But you get him in motion, you let him get a running start, and they're playing off, I'm sending him down the field. We need somebody that can shake loose and get separation. And Cropper has been doing that, time and again over the last, week or so? Yep. So I think he's kind of now, it's like yesterday's price is not today's price. A couple days ago, I'm like, hey, Tyra Billy Johnson is the flavor of the month. Mm-hmm. Now it's Cropper. Cropper's the flavor, quote, of the month. But can he do enough to secure a roster spot where a wide receiver 5 or 6, you're not going to be on the field a whole lot. So can you do special teams things? And that's kind of, I'm guessing, where you're saying 2 return guys. Can Cropper be that other dude?
I think a lot of people pin Turpin into being slot guy because he's short.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He can't play on the outside all day.
Turpin's really he's really a big play type dude that you use sometimes, right?
A weapon X type of player on offense.
Right,
backfield, move around.
1,000%. If we talking about slot receivers for number 4, that's Jalen Cropper. Like the route runner, the open, the field space, the quarterback friendly stuff. Like that's Jalen Cropper. You know what I'm saying? Cropper's not, and he's probably further down the wide receiver depth chart because he's not like a really complete guy. Like he can go play everywhere. Like Tolbert is play everywhere guy, but in real life, Tolbert's like a slot guy, but he's play everywhere guy. I think Scott, I think we're a bona fide one of them kind of slot receivers away from this thing being real, like ridiculous for offense. Because that's the type of dude that Dak thrives with. Somebody that's close to me, that can beat one-on-ones, that I can find and lock up catches. You know what I'm saying? That's why Ferguson's going to be great this year, right? Because he's close to Dak. He'll get open. He'll lock up a catch. He'll go get some more yards, right? I think Turpin is a dude. You put him at running back. You put him in motions. You put him at flanker and let him run past people. You let him do all the jet stuff. He's not bona fide slot dude, because if you put Turpin on an island with Jalen Ramsey, who's like a nickel corner right now, right, and be like, all right, what in your tool belt's gonna beat him, right? And
you ain't even got to say Ramsey. I mean, just a
Jordan Lewis. pick a guy. Pick a nickel corner. Pick a bona fide nickel corner, right? Cropper has a bigger tool belt of slot receiver stuff than Turpin does. Turpin's fast. You know what I mean? There's ways to use fast and explosive, right? So why receivers just not black and white like that, you know? So I don't want to just pin Turpin as a slot receiver. Slurping would have been crazy. Slurping would have.
Oh no.
Slurping would have been ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Hey yo, Cavante slurping is wild.
You gotta call you shorty, Cavante.
Hey, man, he got a wife, and she been slurping tonight.
This is why ESPN won't hire us. We will not go down this rabbit hole, sir.
Absolutely not. You would have said slurp, and we would have just kept it moving.
Boy, Derek Eagleson would have unplugged everything up in there. We'd have been on .com.
Cut it. Run it back.
Yeah, man, you can't turn. I'm sweating now. You can't turn Turpin to a slot receiver. Now. You can't do it. Cropper's a much better slot receiver.
You can't turn Turpin into a slurping. All right, got you, bro.
Slurping receiver. Cavante slurping.
All right, you're on to something though about actually having. I got low key got tears. Actually having a slot guy though. Like, I don't know if it's a McCarthy thing. I don't know if he wants it anymore. He talks a lot about versatility. He talks about these guys knowing all the positions. But man, I've seen Beasley thrive just being a slot guy. I've seen Cobb slide.
What the fuck going on? What the fuck going on? I ain't never wake up early for a show no more. We can't do this no more. Sky, what the name is?
Cavante Slurping. That's crazy.
Salute. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We leave it. I can't say Sky, focus.
We'll never get the Cavante Turpin interview. It's not happening.
We'll never get that, man. Look,
we can't even compliment him.
I want him to say Skywalker Steel so bad. I want
Skywalker Steel. Yeah, I could introduce myself as Skywalker Steel down there.
You know, man, Mike McCarthy's always had bigger slot receivers, you know what I'm saying? Or tall. Well, no, Randall Cobb was like 5 feet.
Randall Cobb the only one. The rest of them was
a little big.
6'2", 6. Yeah.
But you got to have some route running in, you know what I'm saying? You got to have some attributes, you know what I mean? And I think just technically, from a technical standpoint, I think Jalen Cropper is a much better slot receiver than Cavante Turpin.
Fair. Oh gosh, slobbing, yo, wildin', dialing or
Randall slobbing on
wow.
Turpin is stupid,
crazy. Let's go on. Let's just move on to the next position because they'll kill us for this the whole entire show.
Yeah, the whole
quickly, want to talk about the tight ends and the quarterbacks to wrap up. If you notice, I really don't have much to say about the running backs in these. I know it's joint practice, but they're still not tackling to the ground, and I feel like running backs are really gonna have to show what they do in preseason. So I don't think much is there to talk about. Be honest with you, Voch.
Do you think this running back room is kind of set already? Or do you we're saying, hey, they got stuff to prove in preseason, right?
Right.
They probably just gonna roll out Malik Snoop, Deuce gonna get some carries, and they just gonna roll with the other guys. Do you think running back is figured out already?
I mean, it sure as hell sounds like it.
Yeah.
Zeke's not playing preseason, nor should he. Zeke will be here. Rico technically shouldn't.
Yeah, he probably.
I mean, he's a hurt guy. You don't want to throw him out there. So, and he's going to be more a part of this offense than he was before. He's your best running back technically at this point. So those two guys shouldn't play. I don't know. Royce probably has to for maybe a coach or two. But it sounds like the front office and McCarthy are sold.
They love him. They love Royce.
Yeah.
And me and you have been saying Royce was the best running back on this team last year. Like he had the best season out of all of them. Royce can play.
Well, I like this tape. You know, I don't think he's just this bumbling, stumbling 240-pound back. I think he got a little wiggle with him, and he could be a part of a trio or what have you. So maybe he gets a few snaps. But you're right, Snoop, Malik, Deuce, they probably gonna get a whole lot of tick this preseason. So yeah, it feels set. It shouldn't. Not me. I'm looking out. I'm trying to get more players, but they're stubborn. You know, they'll be stubborn until they realize, okay, we need to grab somebody in this week 4 and then make a trade.
So you think they're going to carry 3 running backs in Lipke?
Yeah, that's Zeke, Rico, Royce, Lipke. That's crazy, by the way. I mean, there's not a lot of juice there. I look at Rico as a slasher. You know what I mean? I don't look at it as like long speed, take a 5-yard swing pass, turn into 40. Like, I don't really see that.
I really hope Deuce gets a shot, man. I hope he gets a fair shake. Like if he's not good enough and he don't make the team, cool. But I just want Deuce to get a fair shake. I want him to go out there and play a pre. If he go out there and rush for 150 and catch 30 passes, I don't want us to be like, yeah, it wasn't good enough. Cut him. You know what I'm saying? I know politics is gonna get in the way, and I think you can find more use for Deuce on this team overall than a guy like Zeke. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to one of my insiders the other day I was talking to Brian Bros. And Brian said that the Cowboys ran a ton of goal line stuff and it was all Hunter Lipke. That makes sense in my ears, right? Like Hunter Lipke getting a lot of your short yardage goal line stuff.
Well, Zeke is they're monitoring his snaps. Rico's not a goal line guy at the moment. Hunter makes a lot of sense. If Royce is not out there too, yeah.
1,000%. And Royce goes in a little thumpy dude category too.
Oh, he's thumpy. Yeah.
It's such a redundancy in the running back room.
There you go.
It's such a redundancy in all three of those dudes could be short yard back now.
240 Royce, 230 plus Hunter Lipke. Zeke's what, 225?
Yeah.
And they all play a certain style. And your quote unquote juice is really a slasher in Rico. And he's a guy that you really, I don't know if you want to give him 250 touches because of the possibility he gets injured because he's an injury guy. So it is a lot of redundancy there. There's not no, Pete's the other guy, Yeah,
Nate Pete's gonna get a ton of carries too.
Pete.
So my whole point to that though, Scott, is you got three dudes that's looking at each other like y'all the same dude. Lipke's at fullback, you know what I'm saying? Just damn near on the team, right?
He on the team.
I think Deuce can do so much for the team, but you'll have to move on from some. Like carrying 4 running backs and Lipke is goofy. Yeah. Cutting Royce Freeman and he's one of the better guys at what he does on this team is goofy. Keeping somebody over Deuce Vaughn, in which Deuce is clearly different than those other 3 guys, I think is goofy. And I think I'm not gonna sit up here and fuss about Zeke. Zeke is here. Zeke gonna be on the team. Zeke's gonna be around. How long? I don't know. But I just think those 3 guys make it a weird running back room. Royce, Zeke, and Hunter Lipke together are so similar that it makes it a weird running back room to look at.
It's such a power backfield that you would hope that your scheme is tailored towards it. Last year, how wild is this, Voch? Last year, you did not have a power backfield, but you ran a shit ton of A gap, B gap, power stuff with a slasher and a speed guy. So hopefully this year they learn their lesson. They say, okay, if we're going to roll with a power backfield, we're not doing a million outside zone things and tosses and trying to get these guys in space. We're kind of trying to, soften the defense up with these guys. And then we'll hit you with a Kavontae Turpin, or then we'll hit you with a toss, maybe Rico would have you. But you got to tailor this to your room if that's going to be your room. I would be looking to bring in somebody to add some juice to this thing. But I've been saying that since day one.
For every one time Tony Pollard rushed outside and got 15 to 20 yards, they rushed his ass right up A gap 4 times.
The very next play.
4 times in a row. 4 times.
Great.
But I digress though. Go ahead, brother.
Tight end. So tight end, I said this the other day, Voch. It's a very quiet camp for the tight ends. Ferguson's Ferg. We all believe Ferg is going to be like that top 3 this year if he gets the same opportunities those other gentlemen will get. But the tight end group in general hasn't been a whole lot. And I said this, I wonder if this is just by design. Not like they're trying to make it a quiet camp, but they're trying to see what the perimeter game is about. They're trying to see what this offensive line can do. I don't know if they're really like, okay, let's scheme so-and-so and see what he can do. They're just, okay, this is part of the read. We'll throw it to John Stevens. We'll throw it to Luke, whomever. Luke Schoonmaker is not healthy. He's not out there. He's in and out of the lineup again. John Stevens, ACL situation. He's come back a little bit bigger. From what I've been hearing out there, that's problem with drops. He's having the dropsies is what the quote was from, I think it was Nick Harris. So he's dropping the ball a little bit. She's trying to work back. Peyton Hendershot. One day he's catching the rock. Another day he's dropping the rock. He's same old Peyton Hendershot. And then Brevin Spanford, from what I was told, was quiet camp outside of the blocking department. So he's not getting a lot of balls thrown to him to make plays. So it's a quiet tight end camp for them, which is why I think today's important. Preseason is going to be important, but gaining momentum heading into the first preseason game, you want to hear from one of these, 4 tight ends that, all right, so-and-so made a play. John Stevens went up, grabbed it. Great play. Brevin Spann-Ford is finally getting involved. Hendershot's catching the rock. I don't know if Luke's going to be out there. He's dealing with a groin. But you want to see one of these backup tight ends kind of just stand out a bit because right now none of them are really having these standout stacking days.
Man, Dak threw one of the prettiest seam balls to Hendershot the other day. And, boy, he got up clapping and the ball rolling around on the ground. Boy, Hendershot keep doing that.
The ball was popping up in the air. That's the problem.
Yeah. It's gonna be in passing situations. It's just got to be a bunch of 11 personnel, Scott. And when it's time to run the football, Brevin come in. I've been hearing some good things about Brevin blocking also.
Yeah, it's the blocking aspect. And look, we knew that, right, Voch? Like that wasn't the issue. I want to see him in the passing department. Can he bring something to the passing game early or not? Yeah,
because Brevin. Let me see who plays cornerback for the Rams. Like Brevin 270
corner.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like when
they signed Tre'Davious White,
Trey White, Quentin Lake, Russ Yeast.
Oh, they got Cameron Curl. They drafted a young buck from Miami Kitchen. So I'm looking at safeties, right? The safeties come down in the box to cover one of these guys. I mean, he's got the size advantage. Clearly,
a lot of the league, right? He's 270.
Yeah.
Schoonmaker's never gonna do nothing to keep his job. Besides be a second round pick. That's the only thing keep the Cowboys overdrafting Schoonmaker is the reason he got a job, Scott. That's the reason he's keeping his job right now, because the Cowboys overdrafted him. Schoon ain't done shit to keep his job yet. Hendershot don't want to take advantage of Luke's shortcomings, and John Stevens don't want to take advantage of none of their shortcuts. Princeton Fant been getting better reviews than them characters. So as of now,
I thought he was going to be pushing with Hunter because he's that kind of H-back type role, Jameez Olawale type dude. He's not going to be a inline tight end for you. He's a halfback, fullback, H-back type. But unfortunately, they got Hunter. So where does Fant fit into that,
At the end of the day, I don't want to overthink tight end 3 through 4, if they even exist. You know what I'm saying? Fair. I just want to roll out there. Brevin, I think Brevin is all but on the team. I think he's a dude that's going to play tight end for you. He's a dude that's going to block for you. And you want to talk about the kickoff rule being like a run play. You would love for Brevin to be out there blocking on the not kickoff, but like kick return plays. So I think Brevin's good to go. I think Ferg is like the guy, the 1 seed guy. Everybody else, man. Are we keeping 4 tight ends this year, Sky? What you think?
I think so. You kind of have to, right? Like at this point, you got to look at this room and say, can we rely on Luke Schoonmaker to stay healthy?
No.
I think the answer is no. All right. So, okay, boom. You got to have a backup plan for that. John Stevens Jr., at the end of the day, we love the upside. We were really excited about him last year and coming in this year, but he is still coming off of an ACL injury at a position where, he's got to do some cutting and moving, and he's working back. You can't fully rely on him early in the season, right? Hendo's Hendo. There's no way I'm going into the season trusting this man. So if he's on the roster, I need a backup plan. So you got to carry 4, I think. Maybe 3, and you sneak one of them on a practice squad. And the problem is Luke is bona fide guaranteed to make the team.
Yeah.
So there's 2 spots right there. If you only carry 3, it's one of these guys. Another guy you got to hope to make the practice. Which, look, if all 3 below Luke Schoonmaker got cut, one of them is going to make it through and be on the practice squad. I know that for sure. Yeah.
Sky, here's another issue too. If Luke was out there tearing it up, but he's hurt guy, we'll at least be like, all right, well, we'll just heal Luke to get back to week 1, and then week 1 come around, Luke gonna go out there and tear it up. Luke don't take advantage of nothing when he get out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to be, because when Hendershot got hurt last year, right? We was like, all right, Luke, this your time.
Yeah.
And Luke did so little with it. Hendershot came back. and did nothing with it neither.
Nope.
But he still played better than Luke. You know what I'm saying? So I think tight end, as quiet as it is, I think tight end is wide open. It's looking like Brevin and Ferg, and everybody else is gonna have to get in where they fit in. Princeton, unless they got like a dynamic fullback tight end plan for him. I mean, he's having a better camp than.
I think they'll try to get him on the squad because they got Hunter Lipke, cross training that tight end too. Mm-hmm. So I think that's your H-back, tight end, fullback, halfback, versatile guy would be Hunter. And they love Hunter. And he's earned it, by the way. So Fant is competing with Hunter. Fant's now also competing with these tight ends, and he's not a traditional guy. He's a guy that played receiver, then running back, then halfback, and fullback. So he's got an uphill battle. He'd have to be out this world in preseason. That's tough to do. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to do when that third string quarterback's throwing to you.
Hendershot's cut, right?
Hendershot got 9 lives, bro. With Luke Schoonmaker continuing to get hurt, John Stevens working back from ACL, it would not shock me if they get to the point and then I'll end it on this. They get to the end of camp and John Stevens is still working back from the ACL and they say, hey, big fella, we're gonna go ahead and give you another year. We really looking forward to your upside, but we can't waste a spot and wait for 8 weeks for you to get back if we can't count on you just yet. I'm not saying they're there, but if they do get there at the end of camp, it wouldn't shock me if they redshirted him again. So I don't know if at first Hendershot felt like absolutely he's not going to make this team. Now, because the room is so quiet, how can you say he's not in the running? he go out there and make some plays in preseason, bro. He going to make the team.
Yep, that's going to be the deciding factor, and making some plays today will be a big help too for anybody that want to go out there and make plays. But
Facts. That's the offensive side, Cowboys Nation. I do want to take a quick, small little breather, reset, and flip on the defensive side of the ball because there's a lot of exciting, what to watch for, watch list, whatever you want to call it on that side. And I'm just going to go out and say, man, it starts straight up with Micah Parsons. Look, y'all. I know we don't really need to see Mike out there, Voch.
Yeah,
I know.
But I want to see why. Give me something to get excited about.
Yeah, man. But I'm getting. Here's the thing. I came into this camp, temper my expectations, right? Like, I don't know. Are they really going to use him like we've been asking for the last 3 years? Are they really going to move him around? Like, are they just going to be stubborn a bit with it? No. That mother everywhere. I listened to Terrence Steele interview. By the way, I almost hit you up yesterday. Like, dog, you listen to these interviews?
I should be.
Terrible questions. I haven't listened to all of them, but I mean, wasted such a great opportunity to talk to Terrence Steele about what's changing on the offensive line scheme. Oh, it was terrible.
Terrence, let me ask you a question. So when you're in your room, what do you keep your air conditioner on?
Fam, they spent like 4 minutes about a Mexican coach. And, shouts out to the Mexican coach. But he just kept asking him. And I'm like, when are we going to get to football here?
Pancakes or waffles? Are you a waffle guy?
Like, come on, man.
How about this? You wake up in the morning, you're getting some breakfast. Okay, cool. And you're at the breakfast buffet. Do you go for the bacon or the sausage? What are you, a bacon or a sausage guy?
Then you'll hear like Nick or Pat about to ask a real question. Hey, Terrence, and then somebody straight cut him off. Hey, so what's your favorite video game?
So Terrence, so when you're in bed at night, right? Do you like the room dark? Do you like a night light? Do you keep a big light on? Are you TV on or off? There's one guy in particular that
it's ridiculous.
I'm talking like right now, and I'm like, dog, I got so much to ask. You got 9 of your offensive linemen working with Duke. You a year removed away from your knee. Hey, Tyler Guyton's over there. Hey, were you ever asked to play left tackle in this needing offensive line process or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Hey, Tyler Smith is over there. Hey, Zach Martin's back. You love having Zach Martin back. Hey, which one of these guards you think gonna be the Zach Martin guy when Zach Martin's gone? Yeah, you work for a new contract. Hey, what you doing?
I'll tell you right now, everybody in Cowboys Nation is thinking this when they ask those questions.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
we don't care.
We really don't. Like we are so pent up right now. We want to know what's happening on the damn field. But Terrence said, and this goes back to Micah. They asked him about, hey, how is it, going up against Mike Zimmer's defense with Micah Parsons? He said, hey, dog, good luck. Trying to figure out where that man's at.
Real shit.
Like if he didn't laugh, he wasn't joyous. Like, look, man, this is tough. it's hard because it's hard to identify what's going on. I think he said something. It was Zeke who actually said this part when they're asking all the offensive players, what is different about this scheme compared to Dan Quinn's? And he said, they play a lot more shell, a lot more disguises. You don't know what they're in. And back to what Terrence was saying, he was just like, man, it's hard identifying where he's at. Obviously he might be lined up on the left side against me or right side against me, left side, but he also will slide inside. He'll look like he's playing backer and he's blitzing. He's predominantly going to pass rush, but you don't know. He might drop back on this play. He might loop around on your side. So identifying where the true weapon X is going to be is probably going to be your biggest advantage defensively this season. And it is finally going to be used as an advantage, Voch, because it wasn't with Q last year.
Sky, do you sleep with your glasses on? Do you take them off? Do you cook? Do you shower in your glasses? What are you, one of these guys?
When they get foggy, do you use your shirt or you go find your glasses case? Like,
Sky,
tell you.
we don't care.
We don't care. Michael Antoine Zimmer,
these middle names is crazy.
It constantly pays off, Sky. I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to Broadus and like Jefferson. I don't know who I was talking to. I Foots or something. I don't know. I do this a lot. But the last 5 or so defensive guys that we've had, Sky, whether it be Marinelli, Richard, whether it be Nolan, like pick Quinn, they're all, this is what we do. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to line up, and this is what we are. There was a notorious late night hype clip.
Shouts out to it.
Y'all was talking like Daryl Worley or somebody or something. And no, it was like one of the safeties. I forgot his name, whatever. But y'all was like, hey man, do y'all
George Iloka. George Iloka,
thank you. And y'all was talking about like disguise and shit and coverages, and he was like, nah, we don't disguise nothing. We just show up and we just play.
Chris Richard yelled at him when he tried to disguise it. Chris said, no, we're not disguising. You're in it, you stay in it. That's what you're talking about.
So, Sky, just imagine you practice against a team that don't disguise, and you've never practiced against, if you're Dak Prescott, right? And you never practice against a disguised defense, right? And you just show up in the game in week 1, somebody disguised and shit, you're gonna look terrible. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be the Buccaneers when we go against them, the Dolphins when we go against them, or whoever it is, right? If you disguise something, that's been Dak's biggest criticism, right? His post-snap looks. We know everything pre-snap, but the post-snap looks is where it gets kind of weird.
Post-snap changing of the picture.
The changing of the picture post-snap. Yeah. That's where Dak has like struggled the most. So when I hear Mike Zimmer kicking our ass at practice because we disguise and stuff, and Dak throwing picks to linebackers and shit because he ain't see him ever.
That was Trey Lance.
Pardon me. Yeah, Trey. Yeah,
it's not crazy. Dak didn't throw a pick until yesterday.
To
the padded practices, but that's kind of strange.
But I think that sharpening though, that iron sharpening iron though, I think is all paying off.
Seeing something different. I mean, we'll see if it pays off, right?
Well, for sure.
We ain't gonna know that too.
And look, I have no doubts in my mind that it'll 100% pay off because I got faith in 4. So I saw this the other day, and now I'm back on Zimmer, right? Micah, we all saw the one where he was like on the defensive left, and then he came over and he walked down, and then he looped all the way outside the end to get the pressure.
Yeah.
If you keep Micah at right defensive end, as an offensive, if I'm at center and Micah stay right there, 3 right. If Micah's at left, 3 left. If Micah's in A gap or something, hey Zach, help me with what's the name, just so I can keep eyes on him. You know what I'm saying? But if Micah starts here and ends up all the way over here, just to be a C gap blitzing guy, now the running back got to get involved. You know what I'm saying? As the offensive lineman, I got a better shot to block Micah. If you mix up a look and force the running back to block Micah Parsons, I think that's a W for us.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be a part of mixing it up. I don't think there's nothing wrong with having Mike on the left, right, or in the center.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The problem is constantly.
Sure.
Like if all you're going to do is line him up over, you can always say Trent Williams, 90% of the game, or you're making it easier on an offensive coordinator who knows that, plus a Hall of Fame left tackle, right? And if you don't have one of those type of tackles, you still make it easy for said tackle and solid offensive coordinator to scheme that. Now it's one play, he might be whooping on your left tackle. Another play might be whooping on your right tackle. I have not seen, and this is no joke, and obviously this is a little bit of exaggeration, but I haven't seen consistently an interior offensive line stop Micah from blitzing down the middle. Because you can't pinch, you can't triple team him in the middle. That's just suicide for a defensive end now because he has the inside. So he's been whooping on centers, he'll whoop on guards, moving him around is the best shot. What I like the most though is he's blitzing and pass rushing from linebacker depth now.
Yeah.
So that adds another element. So we used to see Micah lined up A gap, B gap, but it's not really linebacker rep. That's just him moving around on the line of scrimmage. Now
standing A gap. Standing A gap.
Right. Now it's Micah, he looked like he's back here chilling. Next thing you know, he's blitzing, but you don't know where. So that's just the Micah disguise. We ain't even talking about the coverage. That's a whole different aspect. We're
real life like friends, you know what I'm saying? So while the Cowboys game going on, me and you texting about the game or whatever, right? And I'll never forget versus the 49ers, right? And I always mention this, no matter what show I'm on, I always mention this. I'm like, man, why are we just leaving Micah versus Trent Williams the whole game? And Scott, when we preview games, hey man, McKivitz ain't good. You can put Micah over there, he'll beat the shit out of McKivitz. Or whatever. I would have loved for Micah to have some reps against McKivitz. I would love for Micah to have some reps against Christian McCaffrey, like Christian trying to block Micah. I would love for Micah to be able to deal with their center or their guard. But the whole game, sometimes in a damn 4-point stance, versus the best left tackle in the league. I was befuddled, Scott. But us watching practice, and look, man, the jury's gonna be out till we see it in the game. But he'll whoop up on Chuma. He'll whoop up on Terrence. He'll whoop up on whoever playing guard. He'll loop around and he'll beat Zeke to the block. Like, that's how you use Micah. That's how you do it. And we were begging for Dan Quinn to do this.
Yeah.
Man, Scott, I'm just a dude with a microphone and a camera, man.
I mean, Zim echoes the same thing. We talked about this quote last week, and I'm just going to read a couple different parts where he said, we're trying to figure out a lot of different ways to move him. One week he might be doing this. The next week he might be doing something else. I appreciate the transparency because Dan Quinn, his rah-rah speeches were cool, and sometimes he'd be transparent, but he also essentially kind of lied to us a bit when he said, "Hey, yeah, we want to keep teams guessing. We don't want to just put him at one spot." That's exactly what you did, right? For the most part. And from time to time, yes, he would stand up over the center or whatnot. But it became like he leaned on Micah, or as Voch was saying, he got lazy because of Micah to play one specific area. Zim come in saying, "Look, man, no offense to these dudes, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to move him around. One week he's doing this, next week he's doing that. We're trying to get him one-on-ones as many times as possible." What he didn't say in there, and what he really means is, we're trying to get one-on-ones with your wackest player as many times as possible. Find the scrub. And I think we're truly going to see that because Zim is not a guy that's just going to be talking air.
Instead of asking Micah if he likes hot Cheetos or hot Cheeto puffs, why don't you ask him? "Hey, yo, Micah, we've been seeing you move all over."
They asked his ass.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but like, what stopped you from doing this last year? I just want a little clarity. Hey, Micah, is there a particular reason you weren't doing this last? You ain't got to say, "Hey, Dan Quinn, a goofy that wouldn't let you do it." You're like, "Hey, yo, Micah, what?"
Micah told these people, but they were so mad at the man that they wanted to pretend that he has the end all be all say as if he's not a player and they're coaches. Micah straight up told, he came out of his mouth, "I can only do what they tell me to do." When they told me I need to play some linebackers in Miami, then I wanted to play linebacker and I did it. But I don't call the plays. But then people don't want to hear that. Podcast Parsons, shut up, trade him. Okay. All right, trade him.
Scott had a hell of a scoop last year. He ain't even dropped it because but you had a hell of a scoop that me and you talked about privately that one time, man. And it turned out to be facts. And then when you look, Scott, and we ain't gonna tell, but when you take that thing that you heard from that person about Mike and all that, and you combo that with Zimmer saying, "Hey man, Micah got brilliant ideas, man, and we're gonna try them out, and if they work, we keep them, and boom, boom, boom." It kind of goes together, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, ain't not trying to start nothing. I ain't trying to be one of those some tweet go viral, some clip go viral, and nah, I'm not doing all that. It ain't good for the team. You know what I mean? Hopefully they get through this and we get better in the playoffs, but never happened.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond Micah, but I was excited to talk about that because of what he's doing at camp. For this joint practice, I'm really looking at Mozzie Smith, right? Like all eyes are on Mozzie Smith because he's going to get every opportunity to take this one tech position by storm. Because right now, listening to Coach Scanina, it just sounds like, yeah, man, we're happy. We're trying to get him going, and he's figuring things out. We're asking him to do different things, and we're it sounds like the good word for him, and not confident that, hey, man, he's killing it out there, right? And look, we're baby steps with Mozzie, but the problem is we can't afford baby steps, unfortunately. I know Cowboys Nation development, I get it. But I said this before, Voch. While Mozzie Smith is developing, we will need more players or the players around him to step up if we can't lean on him to be that dude. And I don't know if we're there yet with Mozzie, but this will be a good day to get some confidence and momentum because this, Voch, definitely talking to your guy down there. It's confidence for Mozzie. If he loses it, you see it. If he has it, you see it. So I'm watching Mozzie today.
Jonah Jackson at guard, Kevin Dotson at guard, Steve Avila's playing center for some reason. That's just the depth chart that they got up there. The Arkansas draft pick Bo Lemmer is going to be playing center today. That'll be interesting to watch. And Cowboys favorite Alec Lindstrom is going to be playing center also. So we got some names that we recognize. We know Bo Lemmer and how he gets down. Avila playing center is interesting, but that's they.
Mozzie had a good rep against him last year at guard.
He sure did. Like in a real life game. Facts. Fantastic catch there, Scott. But so yeah, that's the competition that Mozzie's gonna be going up against today. And look, just to be fair to everybody, if you listen to or not listen to, but if you just think about this, Mozzie loses to Zach Martin and Tyler Smith, right? You're not going to run into Zach Martin and Tyler Smith every single day. Like Mozzie will probably be relieved to have to go against Avila because he has to go against Tyler Smith every other day. You know what I mean? So, let's just know that every time Mozzie got to go up against somebody, it's not going to be a Pro Bowl or like an All Pro Hall of Fame type character. With centers around the league and even all that good in general. So yeah, man. So I got a little faith in Mozzie, man. That's all I could do though, Scott. All I could do is think positively and have some faith that he'll go out and whoop Lindstrom, or he'll have a good rep versus Bo Lemmer, or he'll beat Avila or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's the competition that he's going against, and I think there's a lot riding on this. In the event that Mozzie shows up and lays the egg, I think that this team will be a lot more urgent about adding one tech to this team. Yeah,
they added the 305-pound Huggins, right? But that's not the 320, 330 guy we're looking for, right? Yeah. Carl Davis is 335, but journeyman as well. But are we really counting on Carl Davis 17 games to be that dude? I don't think this is Jonathan Hankins. If it was a Jonathan Hankins situation, cool. Yeah. Carl Davis playing one tech, part of a rotation as your 2-3, yeah, I could probably live with it if that's what we have to do. But if it's Carl Davis as the guy, yeah, I'm a little concerned. And they're not even going to ask these guys to do a whole lot this year because it's a different scheme. But I just think we need to get bigger. I love Osa, and I think he's can be a dynamic player. But man, I've been seeing this offensive line kind of washing Mozzie and Osa from time to time. Yeah. And that's concern. And they're smaller guys. Well, Osa's a smaller guy. It's not going to be hard to wash him. And his responsibility is to deal with more blocks and doubles as opposed to getting upfield. I don't think that's Osa's game. But so you got 280 Osa, 270 Chauncey Golston, and 265, 270 Viliami Fehoko as your 3 techs. Nah, bro, we need more size.
And Scott, I think that's another side of that coin, though, right? Like we're just saying, all right, Mozzie versus Brock Hoffman, who's good? I think the same thing can apply to Osa. Like, yeah, he getting beat, but that's Tyler Smith and that's Zach Martin. You know what I'm saying? Will he look better versus like regular, good, average starting guards as opposed to like two of the best guards in the league, right? You know what I'm saying? Like Tyler, in my personal opinion, even though Zach gets all the praise for it, Tyler Smith in my opinion, was better than Zach, and he was one of the better guards in the league. So what will Osa look like when he finally gets a break from that? So I think that's another thing that we have to look forward to. Osa can go out there and beat the hell out of Jonah Jackson and whoever and Dotson and them that's playing guard for the Rams or whatever, right? And come right back to practice and get whooped by Tyler Smith. If that's the case, that'll just tell me Tyler Smith just done upgraded again, and he's due for a better season than last year.
Well, here's the thing about the run defense. I see some people are still concerned. I do think it'll be slightly improved because the linebacker room alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, these are real linebackers the Cowboys got. These are guys that get downhill, and now Damone Clark is a part of that group, right? Because he wasn't like that, and I think it was to do with coaching. I don't want to repeat myself a whole lot, but I truly do believe when your whole unit is playing is tentative and kind of wait and see and catch approach, they're being taught that. And I always go back to look at how Detroit linebackers, when you got 4, 5, 6 linebackers doing the same thing, that's part of their philosophy. Cowboys had a certain philosophy for a while that is seemed more wait and see approach. Not these boys. These boys are told, get your ass downhill, get in that gap, and make the play. And you ain't got to worry about that with Maris. You ain't got to worry about the demo. Kendricks knows this defense, and they're bringing in a guy like Nick Vigil who knows it as well. So kind of like running backs, not much you can really tell from a run defense standpoint. Maybe if we can see fits, that'll be nice. Hey, are they getting there? So I'm looking, Voch, when I'm watching from the linebacker group, is the coverage aspect. I feel like they're going to be tied more with the coverage than in years past because Zim plays a lot more shell, a lot more combo coverages. You need these athletic linebackers to show blitz, drop back. They'll be in those hook zone areas a lot. So can they make some plays in coverage? That's where I'm looking at today for the linebackers. About you?
Dog, what if Louis Fowl go out there and just go crazy in coverage, dog? What if he just go out there and go crazy? And I was talking to Foots. This is one of his points, brilliant point. And he just asked me to think about the differences between a secondary that's run by Joe Witt and a secondary that's run by Al Harris. You know what I'm saying? And could there be a possibility of us getting more linebacker picks, right? And as Fuss was kind of telling me that, and we was having camp the next day, you see Al Harris working out with Kendricks a bunch, right? He's just working out with the linebackers and stuff. And I think we're going to get a lot more picks from the linebackers because the linebackers are so much more a part of that coverage unit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Zimmer's scheme dictates that.
Like all that passing guys along, you got to pass them over the middle. Your linebackers there. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's going to be a world to where our passing linebacker situation is going to look like Kendricks and Louisville. And I think that those two dudes are smart dudes already, high IQ dudes already. They have understanding of the of what Zimmer's trying to do here. Man, Scott, we just don't live in a world to where we got short linebackers no more. Slow
Undersized.
linebackers that can't cover, Anthony Barr type linebackers, 205-pound line. We ain't got that no more, man. We got linebackers that can run, they can cover, they can hit. Like Micah Parsons is your biggest linebacker. I think he like 241 or something. He's the bigger guy, but all the rest of them, they 230, they 235, they 2 for whatever. So you got size, speed, and coverage added to your linebacker.
Athleticism too.
Athleticism now. All these dudes run around like and look, even the small dude, Willie Harvey, even he's smart enough to overcome being shorter and not as lengthy as like Demo and the other guys or whatever. Clark is a huge character if we just think about it.
6'3", 240.
He's humongous, you know what I'm saying? So like this linebacker group just different. And I think no matter who's on the field, I think no matter what combination, I think they're all gonna do something well. But that passing combination, Louis Fowl, Kendricks, and whoever the hell may be playing Sam or whatever at the time, I think it's gonna be something different.
I do like the thought process of maybe having Louis Fowl out there with Kendricks if it's purely pass, because that's something that he statistically did well. And film-wise, I saw him run with tight ends and running backs out the backfield pretty good. From a drop-back zone type situation, that was sometimes hit or miss with Louis Fowl, but again, nothing that can't be coached and he get better at. I think he can do that very well because, like you said, he's smart. So you're right. I'm interested to see how well he does today in doing that. I don't know if Kendrick's going to be out there, right? With the back, I would probably just keep him on the side and let Louisville kind of this be your day. A big day for Louisville.
I think a lot of people misunderstand Louisville's like coverage grades in college or whatever. If you watch Notre Dame tape, he played like free safety and shit. Like he played strong safety, he played nickel.
He was a safety at first.
He played everything, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, if he got bad coverage at like nickel or so, like nickel corner, like come on. Like,
no, his statistically his coverage grade is good, but I don't think he's as good as his coverage grade says. I think it was opportunities, right? And again, man coverage, running with guys downfield. Yes, I think it's different when you're asked to man up on maybe a receiver and have to do something. It's different when you're asked to man up on the best tight ends and have to do something. Sure. It's different when you got to accept responsibility of passing off guys. That may take a little bit of time, and we haven't really seen much of it in camp. So maybe today we'll see if he took that next step.
Plus something I think is going to be cool. We can move on after this, right? I always say Damone Clark is so much better if Kendricks tell him where to go, right? I would love to see
Green Dot.
For sure. I would love to see. I don't know how Clark ends up Green Dot guy. I would love to see the Clark and Louisville combination communicate and figure stuff out together on the go. Like two linebackers that can go, hey, I saw this, you know what I'm saying, and just like talk it out on the field. It's gonna be fun, man. Preseason game is gonna be fun, but it starts today with this goofy ass scrimmage thing, and I hope that Cowboys.com hold us down and not zoom in on jersey numbers and shoes and tight shots.
Yeah, I mean, look, when the Cowboys are on defense, at the very least, give us the all 22 view. Like, give us the whole thing. Offense, I get it. You don't want everybody seeing your stuff. Defense, Mike Zimmer. Everybody know what's going on.
Everybody knows what's Zimmer.
There's only like 5 defenses in the NFL, dog. It ain't that serious. Yeah. Last group to watch for this entire episode here: defensive backs. You mentioned Al Harris and the difference Al Harris and Joe Witt, etc. I think the biggest difference would be going from Joe Witt being the pass game coordinator and scheming it up, and now Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer is notoriously famous for having some really good coverage schemes. And as he said, hey, man, defensive backs, that's my baby. When it comes to pass game coordination, that's me. I got this. And I think this is going to be a great test going up against Sean McVay's scheme, right? So when you dive into some of Mike Zimmer's film, you'll come across him against Sean McVay the years past, him against Shanahan's and stuff like that. And he's had success. So now, instead of going up against Mike McCarthy offense every day, I hope McVay throw a little something out there. Like, obviously, you're not going to put everything out in preseason. This is going to be vanilla. But hey, give us some of that pre-snap, motion, post-snap action. Try to confuse this defense, and I want to see if we can confuse you. That's really what I'm looking at. McVay versus Zimmer.
Man, we could be 25th in turnovers, 30th in sacks. If we do good against the Shanahan tree kids, I can live with that, dog. You know what I'm saying? Lions, Rams, Dolphins, those guys. If we just better against those dudes, man, I can live with that all day, every day. And Zimmer historically has been good versus those guys. Way better than Dan Quinn's record versus those guys. But you got a pretty diverse wide receiver crew here. I think Puka dealing with some injuries.
I doubt he'll be out there.
Yeah, got that. You may see some Cooper Kupp, Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington. He got drafted this year. So they got a
Texas kid, right?
Yeah. So they got a diverse group of dudes that you can see Kalen Carson go out there and cover some people. Deron Bland, I think he'll be fine, but we just get to watch Deron Bland go out there and cover people. That'll be fun. But in my mind, this is about Nashawn Wright and Eric Scott breaking the pool stick and fighting for their life right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like one of them ain't gonna be here. It's probably gonna be Nashawn, but Nashawn can turn all that around if you go out there and whoop some shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's a
good point. Because, bro, I was thinking like, hey, man, I'd like to see Jordan Lewis, continue to keep going and Carson. But guess what? J. Lou is already solidified. You really don't, this isn't going to tell you anything about J. Lou. Carson, though? Like, look, we talked about fights, right? Mm-hmm. My money's on Kalen Carson starting the fight, bro.
Kalen Carson fighting the biggest man on the roster.
Money's on Kalen Carson starting
means
the fight.
Something to me. Brevin Spanford is a humongous man, and Carson didn't care about none of it.
Yeah.
That means something to me, Scott. That means something to me.
That's how I was on the court. It was ridiculous. Yeah, no, I'd be the shortest dude out there trying to get in a fight with the center. That's because I knew like my center was coming too. But you 6'7", dog. What am I really gonna do? But you can't back down out there on the field or in between the courts. You can't do it.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be humongous, for the young guys. But I mean, every group of young guys gonna have to step up and do something today, So that's not gonna keep us from looking at, because honestly, like Kalen Carson hadn't earned anything yet. He's just having some good practices, you know what I'm saying? So he been beating up on some of our guys. So hey, go beat up on their guys. And if Kalen Carson has a great day, I would love to see Kalen Carson line up inside too. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I wanted to see. Yeah.
Just to see what it looks like, because if he ends up playing outside, of course you move Bland, but what if it's a situation where you can't move Bland and now Carson got to play inside for you? Look, go over there and run around with Tutu, little bitty, running around there. You know what I'm saying? And go cover him. I think this Rams practice is going to offer so much. But I would love to see, to your point, Sean McVay and his scheme, I would love to see how they attack Donovan Wilson deep. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what that looks like. Marquise Bell deep. We know what Wanye looks like, but let's give Wanye an opportunity to go out there and show what he looks like versus, too high versus somebody else. I think all this
good point too.
I think all this matters, So I think that's about it. I mean, besides that, what other cornerbacks are we looking to? Josh DeBerry gonna go out there and make some,
maybe they will, but I don't think enough to be like you're on the team.
Those are like predetermined practice squad guys already,
right.
or predetermined cut guys is how I look at it.
Yeah, if we're going to details of what to watch with these players, I'm with you on the safeties because I'm confident in the safety room, but it's really kind of hard to tell everything about them against us, right? Because this scripted, they know what's happening, they know what's coming. They get same player, same team. They're tired of this. Now it's a different team. Now it's a different energy. These joint practices bring a whole different aspect to practices. And that's why I look at McVay. I want McVay to challenge us. Like you said, I want McVay to take a couple deep shots. I love the fact that we're going to play a lot more shell. The fact that these safeties only have to cover half the field. I think that's going to make them all better. But, hey, can Malik get a play? I know Wanye can move. I want to see Wanye make a play. Like you said, Dono. Marquise Bell could go for a nice, hey, Bell made a couple plays here in coverage because I haven't really heard a whole lot about that besides the pick that Trey Lance threw right to his ass in the red zone. But I haven't really seen much from a coverage standpoint. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of Bell hanging around line of scrimmage. So, yeah, test these safeties for me, please, personally.
Trey Lance threw that bit right to him, boy. Look, Bell ain't had to run.
Bell was surprised. He was like,
me? Cause that bit went to go score. But yeah, man, should be a good practice though. And if there's anybody I haven't talked about so far, it'll be going backwards, like guys like Marshawn Neal and them. You know what I'm saying? But I think we pretty much covered everything. But we missed somebody though, Scott. Let me look at our depth chart.
We really didn't mention the quarterback situation. I don't think.
That don't count.
I mean, but this could go a long way for Trey Lance though. I mean, if he can get some momentum heading into the first preseason, because I don't know if you heard what I said this the other day. I don't think Trey can win quarterback 2 in camp. Like camp structure, I don't think is designed for him. He's not a drop back guy. He's erratic from the accuracy standpoint, although it seems to have gotten a little better there. But reading the defenses and everything, because they're going to tell you to sit your ass in that pocket and read. That's where he's struggling the most. Yeah, that's not suited for him. Preseason it is, because he's like, all right, 1, 2, I don't know what's going on. Take off and make a play, run around, make a play. That's where he's going to thrive. So if he can show I've improved, dropping back and sifting through, that's going to give him some momentum and some confidence. Yeah. So this is a big day for Trey.
Yep. And I just looked on the depth chart or whatever. You don't think Diggs is going to do anything today, huh?
I'd keep him out. I wouldn't run Diggs out there right now. No.
Yeah, just ramp him up slow.
Take your time. Yeah.
Ramp him up slow. Yep, but hey, beside that, that's it.
Yeah, I think we covered it pretty damn good here, man. Pretty damn good. I mean, and honestly, you can take all this, what we talking about for what to watch for the joint practice, roll that thing right into the preseason game because you're playing the Rams on Sunday.
Same thing. I'm gonna say the same thing 3 weeks in a row.
Yep.
Tyler Guyton, Mozzie Smith, corners, linebackers. We're gonna say the same thing, dog. So
Hey, last time I forgot to do super chat, so go find your supers if you got some. Let me see if I can find some if I got some.
I ain't got none, but I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I got 750 on my side.
Woo-wee.
Appreciate 780. Pardon me.
Shouts out to the 780 that way. We got 520 this way, which means we have 1312 according to Restream. 1,300 y'all this morning coming through and checking out kind of our what to watch for today's practice. It will be a good one, Cowboys Nation. We got 225. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. 225 from my guy, who? Mac Jones. He says, please do a roundtable show again. The streets wanted Voch. We got to get one before the season, dog.
If we do it every day, y'all wouldn't watch, man. So yeah, we'll work on that. We'll see.
Breaking news just came through. Nick Foles is retiring.
Hey, that's the best quarterback.
Shouts out to the Eagles, all-time greatest quarterback.
In the bad 25 since Donovan McNabb, boy, the best quarterback they got, boy. Damn, boy.
Hold on, I mean, the dude won a Super Bowl for them, so technically,
they'll love to
the
have
only
him
one.
They'll love to have him back. That motherfucker got a statue out there, dog. Shouts out to him. Shouts out.
Oh, one more thing. If Brandon Ayuk get traded, Voch, dog. I mean, look, that's our Achilles heel. That team.
It's a wrap.
Granted, you lost to the Packers, but
look, Scott, I don't want nothing good to happen to them.
None. No. Let them go. Send his ass to Jacksonville,
Pittsburgh, wherever he ends up, and he can go. I don't want nothing good to happen to them people.
I'm just saying, if it happens and they don't get back another wide receiver, because they might be slick like that.
We gonna beat the shit.
Hey, that helps us a lot. That's all I'm saying.
That made me feel good inside. Because the green people ain't gonna beat us. We're gonna beat the shit out of them. But dog, like San Fran, the boogeyman.
Yeah, go on get
Kendrick Lamar. Hell yeah, you can go.
Yeah, go on get, man.
Shit, I'll let you. Super.
Hey, yeah, super. That's it for me on the super side.
I want Purdy to be so trash in real life because look, there's a lot of people think that Debo's still the guy over there.
No, Brandon Ayuk's the guy.
Ayuk's the guy over there. I would love.
That's what has me. That's what has me so like. Why are they so? Now they're not adamant, but why aren't they adamant about keeping his at? Hey, what do I need to do to just keep you here this year, man? We're trying to win this thing, and if you play like you play, then yeah, we'll break the bank next year. Somebody will break the bank, but we this close. If he gets traded, they go from this close to this close. You know what I mean?
I heard it's anything. How does Debo get his money, but Ayuk don't? You know what I'm saying? If anything, and it's probably because they paid Debo so recently.
Timing, yeah. Debo was doing the same thing. Debo, I ain't showing up. You know, that's what these guys do.
Running back.
I just wanted to throw that out there. Hey man, if they move on from him, that don't do nothing but help the NFC out.
We straight. Get him up out of take. Christian McCaffrey can go too. And look, I don't wish this on nobody, but I do find it annoying that Christian McCaffrey was constant hurt guy in damn Carolina and get here and play 18 game seasons like it's nothing.
And then when you think he might be out, Christian McCaffrey dealing with a calf injury. He's still playing and he get 175 total yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, God, come on.
I do not feel bad for San Fran. F them.
Nah, not at all.
Shouts out to Pearsall. Pearsall got to step up, Sky.
Hey, I take it. Pearsall, Ayuk, who you want to deal with?
I'm beating the shit out of Pearsall.
All right, here we go. I take it, bro. Hey, man, I appreciate you getting up early in the morning. I know that ain't your thing for the show aspect, and that ain't easy. But, dog, you crushed it. We got through it. The caffeine came through, man. Yeah. If y'all missed this, you got to run this back. I think this was some high quality stuff here on this joint practice, and we'll see what works out later. I don't know what time the practice start. I don't know if you're streaming. Are you gonna wait till it's over and get on with Broadus?
I'm gonna wait till it's over. The practice starts at 4 Central, sir. 2 for them, 4 for us.
$2 in the super chat real quick from Spags. So the same can be said about CD, about us and CD. I'm not sure what he means by the same, but appreciate you for the $2.
We're actively trying to pay CD.
Yeah,
they're having a discrepancy over there. We're not having a discrepancy.
Well, Ayuk wants to get traded. CD wants to be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, appreciate the super chat though. But yeah, man. What time did you say it was? I'm sorry.
4 Central, sir.
Damn, for real?
2 their time, 4 Central.
Oh, I'm sorry, 4 Central. I'm thinking 4 Pacific. Still a little later than normal, but all right, cool. So you'll probably have a
post game show for sure.
Evening type of situation.
I'm gonna try to catch Brian Broad as soon as he walking off the field, and I'll be
tuned in. I'll be locked in, bro.
Tap in.
Tap in with your guy Voch Lombardi if you are not already, because him and Brian are absolutely destroying training camp coverage. And we'll probably have you back on next week, Voch.
Yeah, man. Me and you, like,
we get back in the swing.
Yeah. So you can tap in with me. I'll get up and fight it and hit snooze 3 times, but I'll be right in this.
That's why I'm asking you one time a week. Like, let me get one time, brother.
I'm about to, as soon as we hang up, I'm taking a nap and I'm gonna get my day started when I get up. So it's all good, brother. Tap in whenever you need me. Yeah.
Already.
Push the goddamn button.
I'm pushing, man. Somebody said CMC hurt right now. Yeah, now.
Yeah, right now.
He's gonna be all pro, all world for 17 games availability.
After week 6, we gotta play him or whatever.
Y'all the best, Cowboys Nation. Appreciate your bomb squad. Shouts out to the Blue Flame as well. We out of here. Love y'all.